Hello, this is Josh Hunter. I am here on Earth, planet Earth. Um, I'm just making this video just so I have I, I feel like I had a paranoid reaction, and I want to make sure that I have a good example of this. Sometimes I have these paranoid feelings, and I never really know what they look like. So I want to make sure I get an example of my paranoia on tape, so that I can examine it honestly. And anyway, so I was just watching some Saturday Night Live videos online, and I don't know. Like I said, I've been, I've been paranoid for a long time, but I'm not like fearful. Okay, I get the sense of certain things, and sometimes it could be a type of advanced narcissism. I mean, it doesn't mean that I'm, you know, I spent a lot of time by myself, so perhaps, Anyway, I just made this video about people commenting, and then I made this comment. So I'm trying to hold myself to my own standard. Okay. So anyway, in the video, it was Weekend Update, okay, and Colin Jost says something. He mentions that the joke was that he had watched The Irishman, this movie, the Irishman. He watched it by himself during Christmas, and there are a lot of things that I've noticed on Saturday Night Live over the last decade that I'm not going to get into, that are just very I don't know. It just seems like they're very heavily outsourced. Or a type of unusual outsourcing, but I mean that doesn't. I could be. I'm doing a lot of guessing. I don't know if I'm being like an accurate person. I want to be accurate. I want to as accurate as I need to be. Anyway, it's just sometimes when I say things, I don't mean. I never intend to have any type of malice or hate, or I hold no ill will towards any person. So I just wanted to, but I did leave a comment. I'm not going to delete it. I just want, anyway. So I want to see if also I want to see. Well, all right. So I left a comment saying, "Oh, well, I'm sure next Christmas will be much better, Colin." And it was such a passive aggressive thing. Like it's small time. It was so small time, and I'm like, what? Because as I was writing it, I'm like, I had that fucking stupid commenter mentality, like, oh, me for my fucking, this armchair philosopher, trying to fucking, Anyway, and then, so what I did was I used this, I said the comment, but I felt bad, because I felt like, yeah, there was some kind of passive aggressive thing, and I'm not trying to do that. Not that anybody would, not that anybody is particularly concerned, but on the off chance that it's, incorrect, I still felt like I shouldn't, I wanted to say it, and I felt like I needed to say it, but I felt like it was still having some type of consequence that was, undesirable. So I attached to this comment the Merry Christmas jutsu. If you will recall, my very first jutsu that I ever came up with is called the Merry Christmas Jutsu, and you would say it, Merry Christmas no Jutsu. And so I included that in the comment just in case I was wrong. The purpose of the Merry Christmas Jutsu is to give a completely unselfish gift that that is in no way concerned with yourself and is pure. And when I say pure, I mean, we have very different definitions of pure, so I could not tell you what pure is. To some people, purity is simply consistency, a consistency of behavior. Have you ever noticed how sometimes people have been like drinking alcohol their whole lives, and then they stop and they die? Their purity is alcohol. That's what they do. They drink, and when they stop drinking, that is a type of impurity. Purity, the substance itself isn't necessarily pure, or the behavior itself isn't necessarily pure or impure. but the consistency of activity. Water is clear. You know, it's the clarity, perhaps, is what I'm referring to. Anyway, Colin Jost, if you by any chance ever see this, I did not mean any, you know, ill will. I didn't mean to be like some anonymous schmuck on the internet who's got nothing, you know, just just tried to feel like anything matters, and maybe I poke I take a jab at this guy. Maybe I'll feel better. I'll bring him down a peg, and maybe if I bring him down a peg, maybe I'll go up a peg. Huh? I didn't mean it like that. I was just trying to. I just want to be a part of, like, you know, the modern world, and I feel like I've been excluded, and I don't mind being excluded. I just want to understand. You know, it's. I live in my own world, and there's a lot of. I mean, I try to be healthy. I am very health conscious. Although anyway, so I just wanted a state. I literally just left this. I mean, comment like maybe 25 minutes ago. So I just want to make sure that I have on the record of that I did not mean to hurt anyone's feelings or to be like a. Because nowadays I barely even consider myself like a person or a human being. I feel more like I'm like a creature. If I'm not mistaken, I feel more like a creature, like something out of a fairy tale story, you know, like a troll under a bridge or some type of a goblin or something. This is what I feel like. And I don't feel bad. I'm not like, oh, I wish I were, you know, more humanoid type person. No, I don't care. If that's that's the case they gave me, I think, anyway. So, also, I wanted to make sure that it was not perceived as, like, you know, some type of, like, like a jealousy thing, because he's getting, you know, married to Scarlett Johansson, you know, and I didn't want anyone to think, like, first of all, nobody cares what I think, but I did not want it to even slightly be considered like, oh, this guy is just pissed because he can't fucking get anything, and, you know, this guy is getting. It's kind of ironic because in high school I was voted most likely to end up on Saturday Night Live. Although I'm not very funny. I don't know. I'm funny to myself. No one has laughed at my jokes for a long time, so. Anyway, so like I said, I don't really consider myself like a human. I don't mean that like, oh, I'm not a human, you know, I'm more than this, I'm beyond the human experience. No, I mean like the general vibe of, I don't like using that word vibe, the general association that we have with these like fairy tale creatures, like, you know, fawns and, you know, fairies and half goats and centaurs and you know, that type of thing. I don't feel like your standard, or I don't feel like this. I don't feel like the standard social rules necessarily apply to me. This is why I don't. It's not a matter of poor self-image. I do think highly of myself, but I do not understand why anyone would find me particularly attractive. I don't know what this has to do. No, I do know what this has to do. So when I say that I'm a creature, I'm not putting myself down. I'm just stating my class. If people's imaginations, there's a thing that I thought about the other day, because you have a lot of these new age people, and they're talking about your thoughts create reality, right? Is that what they're saying? They're saying, okay, there's a lot of visualization going on, and a lot of these things are happening. Well, okay, so far people are visualizing, you know, getting tons of money, cars, mansions, perfect romances, and all this kinds of, you know, whatever. What happens when people start using that ability to start, imagining, you know, being able to shoot lasers out of their eyes, or to, become a superhuman, or anything like that? You see, if your thoughts create reality, if the law of attraction is real, then eventually somebody's going to be able to come up with their own superpowers And then guess what? We're gonna be living in that fucking fairy tale world. So either this new age stuff is bullshit, or if it is, people need to start. I'm not saying they should. I'm not saying, oh, people are gonna start having powers, but I'm saying, here's what I'm saying. If it's, I do not believe that people, my primary purpose at the time of this taping, is the preservation of infrastructure. Okay, when I say infrastructure, I'm referring to buildings, plumbing, electricity, internet, all of the modern conveniences that make life easy and enjoyable to live, making sure that you can go home, have a beer, watch TV, drop a deuce, go to bed comfortably, to sleep peaceably at night. Okay, this is what I am for. I do not believe that people should be having superpowers. I do not believe that men or women should be flying, super strength, shooting electric bolts out of their hands or whatever. I disagree with it. And so, it may be a way off, like, oh, don't worry about that. Visualization has limits. Says who? If a person can think, I want a brand new house and I want millions of dollars, and then they get it, then why would there be any fucking limit to anything? Okay, you have to be thinking if you want to. Anyway, I don't visualize. I don't think about what I want. I just try to just enjoy. A statement that I use is happiness is always wanting what you have, which means always trying to want what you have. Whatever you have, just find a way to want it. Whatever you have, just try and find a way to want it. Find the way, make the way. If you don't have shit, then find a way to like it. Because that's what your grandparents did, and your great-grandparents, and everyone before that, they found a way. That's why their art is better. That's why their stories are better. That's why their all right, yeah, socially, yeah, whatever. But I don't like a lot of the modern things. Forgive me. When I read like modern novels, I can see how much the author wanted to make some money. And it's like, just write what you want to write. Write something good. Don't be. They're too self-conscious. People are so aware of being recorded that it creates a type of pretension or a facade even that is very noticeable to me anyway. But anyway, so I just say all this just so if people, I'm gonna stand in the way of people getting superpowers, telepathy, telekinesis. I will stand in the way of that, and I will do my utmost to prevent it from happening. Because I think it's bad. I think this culture, these people, there's no reason for it. There's no situation that demands telekinesis. There's no situation that demands telepathy. If you're living on the Earth, if you're living somewhere else, well, you go and do that. But on the Earth, we got some simple programs here. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm backwards. I mean, most of the novels that I read are from, the 18th and 19th century, so I don't. And I am saying that to toot my own horn. I'm literally, no, I'm literally, oh no, you don't get it, man. You don't get it. Anyway, like I said, Colin, I mean no disrespect. I just wanted to. I had a vent, and it wasn't anger, but there was a little bit of bitterness in it. Not bitterness. There's something that I want to understand, and I feel like I can't understand it. I can't talk to anybody about it because it's so absurd. It's not absurd. It's scary, and I don't want to scare you, and I don't want to scare anybody. So I'm sorry if your feelings. Sorry if your feelings got hurt, and I want you to know this is coming from an honest place, and I don't want to hurt anyone. I want everyone to feel good, but just remember that I'm a creature and I'm not a human, and sometimes I do things which are more familiar to creatures, like a goblin or something. So anyway, have a good day, good night, And thanks for watching.